everyone. Welcome to LMA's Fireside Chat. I'm Ashley Stenger, Interim CEO. I'm joined by our 2023 International Board President, Roy Sexton. Hi, Roy. And President-elect Kevin Iredell. Hey, Kevin.
Good afternoon.
Where's the fire?
You're on fire.
We need a fire.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Today, we're going to talk about some accomplishments in 2023 and then initiatives we have going on for 2024 and beyond. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Roy first. I'd like you to talk a little bit about all we've accomplished in membership. We've grown a lot over the past few years.
And fortunately, they provided me a script because they know how I am. So bear with me as I read off some very important facts and figures. This year, it was important for us to return to norm as much as one can return to norm after what we've experienced the last few years. And I think with this information, you'll see indeed we have. We've seen growth beyond pre-pandemic levels, expanding our membership to over 9% since 2021. We've seen strategic expansion with AmLaw firms. Currently, 110 firms are now part of our group rate program, contributing 1,615 group members. We've also seen growth in the B2C space with 36% more business to consumer firm members joining the organization. And that was a key point for us. We wanted to make sure that group understood how important they were to our community. And this year we focused on underscoring the incredible value of LMA memberships. And I think we've seen that in the joy, quite frankly, that we've seen people bring to both the in-person and the online offerings. And it really feels like our communities come back alive, which is really great to see.
Yeah, I would add to that. We have 4,000 members across the United States, Canada, 6 continents. I think we're up to now. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see the numbers coming back, and we have a lot more work to do. But this year was transformative. And
one quick thing, kudos to you, Ashley, because we received inquiries because of our online presence and all the material that's out there from people around the world who came to us saying, we want to see outposts in Asia, Australia, South America, where else? United Arab Emirates, Africa. And when we have people coming to us saying, I want to be part of that community, it's pretty cool. So more to come on that. But Ashley, I know you were working on that with different folks who stepped forward. And we've seen that growth in Europe already with our European region. And I think we'll see more to come.
Yeah, really excited about that expansion. Another one of our main member benefits is education.
You want me to get back to the script, don't you?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right. So we've successfully hosted 25 programs, including webinars, roundtables, podcasts, town halls, all receiving high net promoter scores and aligning well with job survey results. In the body of knowledge, we've seen significant updates this year in preparation for a 3rd edition launch in 2024. We've seen the development of new body of knowledge beyond borders, virtual programs aligned with educational objectives that will launch in early 2024. The 10 shared interest groups now boast over 2,600 members. And if you aren't partaking in those conversations in the shared interest groups, they are robust. They're a resource that's available to you 24/7, anytime you have a question. And the International Board appointed an education and events working group, and they are making great strides toward creating a more coordinated effort around all of what we're seeing happening among our volunteer leaders. So more to come there.
Yeah, obviously education is one of our key member benefits. It's why members join, it's why members stay. It's a key part of your own career growth. So the fact that we focus so much on that, I think, is important, and it's reflected in the success that we've had this year with it.
In addition, we're really proud of the partnerships that we've grown over the past few years. Those have been strong and continuing to build strength in that area. Roy, did you want to touch on anything there?
Yeah, and I think we see these manifest in a lot of ways, in education and discounts, in sort of extended offerings for our members. One of the coolest things I think we did was at the beginning of the year, we partnered with ALM on a survey about kind of what is the experience of marketers in this profession. And we announced those results at the annual conference. They're available online, and I know a report is coming soon around those. We also partnered with ILTA, and we put on a program, We're All in This Together, the intersection of law firm marketing, business development, and technology departments in a roundtable fashion. The Practicing Law Institute, or PLI, is a renowned resource for attorneys and other professionals, and we have modules that are available for our members through that program. And also we partnered with Ruby Law on this year's Marketing Technology Ecosystem Survey, and there was a really great, robust panel discussion about those results. And of course, ALM continues to offer specialized services and discounts. So having that sense of the larger community that is supporting the legal industry is great because we're stronger together in offering these things. And finally, we worked with Harvard Law School to offer members a 10% discount on the Harvard Law School Executive Education Program, which is very cool.
Yeah, great. Thank you. The past couple of years have certainly been a bit challenging, and our priorities have shifted in the way our member firms and businesses are working. But we continue to be stronger together, and I know we have an exciting year to look forward to in 2024. Kevin, do you want to talk about some of our initiatives that we have?
Sure. Let me start by talking about what those priorities are. So the first is profitability. Profitability for reinvestment. The pandemic was very difficult for us financially. So it's going to be really important for us to build back our reserves so that the association can continue to thrive and be around for a very long time. The second priority will be member experience and continuing the member experience for everyone, whether it's through events, education, networking, shared interest groups, committees, etc. And the third priority, as always, is education. Education is one of the biggest reasons that people come to the LMA and stay and come to our events and volunteer. So those three will be, as always, top priorities, but those will be the key focus for next year.
Well, and I think one of the things that was important is we've worked together, and it was very important to me this year that we had a thoughtful, intentional transition, president to president. We have that continuity. I don't know what a normal year looks like anymore. I'm not normal, so I'm not the best judge of that. But I felt like if we do all the things we always do really well, which I think on the balance we did. We had over 1,200 people at annual conference. We've had a run of sellout regional conferences this fall. We have 6 regional conferences this fall. And you and your team, Ashley, are executing that beautifully with our regional leaders, conference committees, co-chairs, et cetera. All of the education that I just described, the membership, if we could do all of that well, then we can step back and go, what's the actual value? I always say that to my team back in the firm, do everything well. And if you execute it well, then you can step back and say, is the value really there? And as good marketers, we need to listen to our market and have that assessment and say, how are we now reinvesting in the things that our people want, and not only want right now, but will want in the future? And that's why I'm excited about what you have ahead, because I'm kind of a nut who wants to do everything, and you have that really thoughtful, inclusive way of kind of wrapping your arms around people and saying, that's great. Now, what should it look like and what can it look like? And I've learned from that, especially working with you this last quarter. You have balanced me in some really wonderful ways, and I look forward to what you're going to do next year.
Well, I think to that point, it's been a good mix. This is not a typical year. There's not any typical years post-COVID. So we had to try a lot of different things, which we did. And I think we're landing on what are our core values, and what's the core value for our membership. And that's what we're going to continue. So it's almost back to basics, but it's a good continuation of the things that you've tried this year. So
I agree. Hey, since I have one foot out the door, could I put on something a little more comfortable? Would you guys mind?
Probably.
Okay, I'll be right back.
We'll probably mind, but I don't think we'll stop you.
Roy's going to Roy.
Roy is going to Roy. Why don't we continue with the questions while Roy is roying?
Well, it's clear we have a really exciting journey planned for 2024. Wow.
I am enough. Excuse me.
But I'm curious how you plan to continue these on after 2024. What is on the horizon for LMA?
So taking into account the goals and the priorities that I mentioned earlier, I think continuing to grow membership, I think will always be a priority for the association. I think continuing to build educational programs and continuing to build the member experience, again, through whatever medium people want to experience that through. So there's a lot of technological changes happening, a lot of new offerings that we're coming up with, and a lot of new volunteer opportunities. I don't know if you mentioned this statistic, but we had over 400 volunteers this year in some sort of leadership role, which is great. So I think that will continue through 2024 and beyond. For 2024, I'm obviously very excited about the annual conference. April 3rd to the 5th in San Diego. If you haven't registered yet,
I'm all in.
All in. Thank you very much. That is excellent. And so I'm excited about that. You know, that's our one time for everybody to get together. Hopefully over 2,000, maybe 3,000 attendees this year.
10,000. Like Taylor Swift.
I mean,
she's your favorite.
I don't know if she'll
you
be
can
there,
aspire.
but you know, she might be there.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
I don't know. There's so many.
Oh, come on, Tim McGraw.
I'm a little distracted by all the
I'm
colors.
Knuff.
So that I'm very excited about. Ashley, back to you.
Well, to your point about our volunteers, that is the thing that struck me this year. You know, I volunteered, Kevin's volunteered, we're doing it right now. You just sort of jump in and you don't think about what you're doing. Ask my husband. But I, you know, the gratitude I have for these people who are taking time away from family, friends, other obligations to give back to their community when they have other options and other things they can do is pretty damn remarkable. And to have that large a number of people that want to participate. So, you know, again, to Kevin's point about refocusing, reinvesting, making sure those hours are well spent, I think that's in service to our membership and to those that have stepped forward to be leaders to have that really intentional, thoughtful approach. And I, you know, it's definitely been a blessing this year that we have folks that are willing to step up and do what they do.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, all of this is very exciting and inspiring, and we have a bright future ahead for LMA, definitely. Kevin, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I would just like to thank all of the volunteers, all of our volunteer leaders, all of our members for being active and engaged in the membership. A special thanks to our Smith-Buckland partners. We couldn't have this organization, couldn't run this association without them. And I'm just looking forward to next year.
So I have a question for both of you.
Uh-oh.
It's been an exciting year. What has been the highlight for each of you?
I would say for me, it's a weird spot to be in at this point in the year because you're still reflective, but you still got a little time ahead. I am really proud of how engaged we have been as a community, the good things we've done. And selfishly, I've been proud of those moments where we responded to something that was happening in the world, not in the most pre-planned way, but in a way that resonated. Yes, we had a drag queen on stage at our annual conference. We addressed some of the international strife that's going on. We have gotten some media out there in advocacy of who we are as a profession. And in each of those instances, you can't necessarily anticipate what's happening in the world and how you want to react to it. You don't want to be too strident about it. You don't want to be in any way polarizing to folks. But I know particularly at the annual conference, I had people come up to me afterwards and say, I'm really grateful that happened because I was struggling with my own feelings around the way the world was, and I felt seen, I felt safe, and it was a message that really meant a lot. And, you know, I get to get up there and sing a Lady Gaga song, which is a completely self-absorbed thing to do. But the fact that we did it in such a way that meant something to people, that's something I'll treasure for the rest of my life.
I would say that there's three things that I'm particularly proud of this year. And the first is really kind of behind the scenes, getting the association back on the path to profitability and financial health. And a lot of that has to do with the board and the management and Smith-Buckland's partnership and the members and our sponsors, right? So it was definitely a team effort, and we're not there yet, but we are on the right track, and you know, I think that's a huge accomplishment. The second is member engagement. The fact that we had 400 members in leadership positions this year, it's fantastic. It just shows the level of engagement, the level of caring, and leadership that we have among our ranks. The third is looking forward to the annual conference and the ACAC, the Annual Conference Advisory Committee that I work with, led by Amber Bowman, Catherine Whitaker and Morgan McLeod. They are top-notch, putting together fantastic programs. I can't list everybody, but the rest of the committee is fantastic. Everybody's working really hard. It's going to be a great conference, and so those are my three right there.
Now, I want to ask both of you a question, if you don't mind. You don't mind?
If I said I might, would you ask it anyway?
I'd ask it louder.
Then do it.
You both are incredible leaders, and I've benefited greatly from working with both of you this year. You have helped me take a more intentional, thoughtful, holistic approach to things, not be as reactive. I think it's important for our volunteer leaders to grow in these roles because we bring that back to our organizations, and they benefit from what we learn while we're in these positions. But I admire both of you a great deal, and I would love to hear from you. Why are you leaders? Ashley, why are you a leader?
I'm really motivated by listening to our members and our volunteers about what matters to them and being able to participate in different venues where they get to share these thoughts and feelings about what impacts them in their careers and impacts the industry. And I've gotten to do that through my participation on many different committees at LMA, but watching their goals come into fruition is really motivating for me.
How about you?
I would say it's all about giving back for me. I have been coming to LMA. I've been a member since
You were 6?
well, let's just say it's been more than 20 years.
Your skin's so good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the lighting.
Yeah.
Really, I'm sitting here today because of LMA. Because when I started coming 20 years ago, somebody who was sitting in this chair reached out and gave back and gave me some advice and mentored me. And I've had many, many mentors throughout the years, all through LMA. So for me, today, it's about doing the same thing for others and helping people find volunteer positions, volunteer leadership positions, getting the most out of all of that we have to offer, education, the experiences, the conferences. And so really it's about giving back. I'm here to serve.
I agree. Really well said.
Thank you for asking the question.
Sorry.
Thank you for joining today's Fireside Chat.
Hey, where's the fire?
Mm-hmm.
We hope it gave you some insight into all that's going on at LMA in 2023 and beyond. Continue to follow us on social media and our website and keep an eye on your inboxes for more to come. Thank you.